Well, Kenny, we have an awesome guest on join us today. There are not many people outside of Cedric Coward himself that can talk to you about Cedric Coward the way that this man can. He was his coach at Washington State, also his coach at Eastern Washington. He knows Cedric Coward probably like nobody else other than his mama and them and granddad and all them folks. He joins us now. His name is Coach David Riley. Coach, what's going on, man? What's going on?
How we doing?
Man, we making it, bro. We out in Memphis, man. It's hot. I don't know if you've really been down to the south, but Memphis weather hit real different, bro. It'll be hot as hell, and then hot as F, and then it'll cool off a little bit, and then it's hot as hell at 9 o'clock at night too. And but yeah, then you got the river down here, so you're literally down here boiling in the humidity in Memphis, like literally. But yeah, it gets crucial out here, man. But Coach, it is good to have you on. Like we said, no one can probably speak on the Grizzlies pick that they took at the 11th spot, Cedric Coward. Coach, Cedric has gotten a lot of comparison, a lot of hype behind him. He's had a big media push behind him. You know, he's one of those guys that's been a late riser in the draft due to the combine and things like that. He's got a lot of comparisons, Coach. Some of those comparisons have been pretty understandable. Some of the like the OG Anunobys of the world and Mikal Bridges. And then you go into the deep waters a little bit. You get to Kawhi Leonard. And I'll admit, I had never really heard of Cedric before draft night. But after watching some video, I was like, hey, that kid looks like Kawhi Leonard. Like, I see it. But, Coach, at what point of your long time spending with Cedric did you realize you were coaching Michael Jordan? When did you realize? When did you realize you were coaching Michael Jordan?
Hey, he came into practice about a year and a half ago, and he had shaved his head completely, and the whole team was calling him Michael Jordan for about
real?
a week.
Really?
So you're not the first one right there.
Well, then, did you see the announcement today? The Grizzlies, you know what his number is in Memphis, right?
I haven't seen it yet. What is it?
23.
2-3.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, man. But all jokes
crazy.
aside, Coach, all jokes aside, when did you realize, like you got Cedric when he was pretty raw, when he was a JUCO guy, small Division III school. He came to you at Eastern Washington. When did you realize that, hey, I've got an NBA lottery pick on my hands? This isn't the guy I got when I recruited him.
You know, that's a tough question. This is my first time going through anything like this where I've had a first rounder. You know, we've had some guys that have made the NBA and played, but just kind of seeing how it all works at this level where, you know, he went from a late first rounder or whatever 3 months ago to a lottery pick based on his interviews and his workouts. And when I think a lot of it came from when these guys started looking at their notes and comparing their notes from what they saw in Cedric last fall, last summer, last spring. And these guys do their work. They had scouts in here, seemed like every day. And so I think once they really kind of evaluated where he was at compared with the rest of the guys, like it started making more and more sense. As far as me, like he showed some flashes his first few months here. You know, he had some games his first year with me with Texas Tech. He had a couple games, Weber State, his first year where he showed some really good flashes. But then, you know, that second year, that second off season that he had with me going into his second year at Eastern Washington, it really started to pop and like, oh crap, this guy might be one of those guys.
Michael Jordan. Hey, you killing me when you said he showed a ball headed, man. You heard it here first. An exclusive information bit that Cedric Coward came Kojak ball to practice, a la Michael Jordan. Coach, there's a lot of folklore in Memphis about the Ja Morant story, right? Like how he was discovered. Like everybody knows the story here in Memphis, how he was at a AAU tournament playing on the side courts, Coach. And they said his assistant coach at Murray State discovered him while getting some nachos or something like that. And he saw Ja playing. He was like, why is this kid over here? He introduced himself to him, and the rest is history. Ja's not an unknown player anymore. Now he's Ja Morant. How did you discover Cedric Coward? Like, is it a story kind of similar to that, or was it just more of like he was a local kid and I knew who he was? And how did you get connected to? How did you guys' relationship start?
Well, the first time I heard about him was the night before my first game as a head coach. I was sitting. We were sitting in a conference room with my staff, and my old boss, Shante Leggins, had got the Portland job, and just kind of turned on the game, and they were having an exhibition game against Willamette University, and this 6'5", 6'6" dude was posting up, getting some block shots, hitting threes, and we're like, that guy's not bad. And I had actually played in that league, that Division III league, and so I knew it a little bit. I had an assistant coach from Fresno, who had coached high school ball in Fresno, where Cedric's from, and so we kind of had like a bunch of reasons to every month. I might walk in the office, dang, you see Cedric had 20 on Whitworth, or my assistant from Fresno might come in, and we kind of keep tabs on him and just kind of followed him as this talented kid that was kind of a unicorn at the D3 level for sure. And it's just one of those weird deals where we just kind of happened to watch him his first game, and I guess it may have been his second or third game. And some random connections brought us to the point where we got to recruit him when the portal opened.
There's been a lot of good things being said about Cedric. A lot of big buzz behind him, right? A lot of guys are giving him a ton of praise. We joked about some of the comparisons that he's got. But there's also been some skepticism. There's some things that might be rightfully stated. The fact that he's played on a lower level, and this season, even though he came out looking like a monster in the first 6 games that he played, he only played 6 games last season. What do you say to people who have questions about him as far as either the level of play or just the amount of games that he played on the highest level of college basketball?
They're fair questions. Like at the end of the day, like he hasn't done those things, but he's also answered every question he's been allowed to answer. Right? He played D3. Well, he probably had the best D3 season a freshman's ever had. He played Big Sky at Eastern Washington. Well, he won 2 championships. We won 18 games in a row. He was the best player on the best team. He was the top 5 most efficient player in the country or something like that. Pretty much answered every question you can answer at that level. He goes to Washington State. Sucks. He only got to play 6 games, but he answered every question. I don't know what he put up, 17, 7,
it's
and
going
4,
crazy.
Like
it's going crazy.
Yeah. Like so those he's kind of checked all those boxes every step of the way. Why won't he do it at this next level with Memphis?
For sure. Grizzlies general manager Zach Kleiman spoke as soon as the season ended about how the Grizzlies need a certain type of player. They need a dog. This is a city known for grit and grind. Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, Mike Conley, Marcus Hall, those type of guys that came through here. I think that Cedric checks off those boxes of being that type of guy to solve some of those problems that this team needs. Do you agree with that sentiment that he's a guy that can fit in with that grit and grind culture here in Memphis?
When I found out it was Memphis, I was so happy because he fits that personality. I mean, they're probably having like McDonald's chicken sandwiches after his games when he was playing D3. They're riding these buses, like even at Eastern Washington, we were taking yellow school buses to the airport on the way to our road games. Like he's not high maintenance. He's all about hoops. It doesn't matter what ball we're playing with, what gym we're in. Let's go do this. Let's go compete. And so I think kind of that mindset that Jalen, I'm assuming, probably brought to Memphis, where he's going to be grateful and he doesn't need much. He's going to go compete and just be a dog from the jump.
What NBA skill do you think he can add to this team like day one? If coach said, "Hey, Cedric, check in," what do you think he can bring with just going in cold, like never played an NBA game? What could he bring day one?
He's a shot maker. Like he's gonna make his shots. He's not gonna force it. He's gonna be an amazing shooter. He's a 40% shooter, and he's a great rebounder. I think those 2 things, like he's been that since day one at every single level. It's not that crazy to those comparisons that we're talking about. I know we've got the role player ones, which is awesome. I think he can do that early on, and he's the kind of guy that can keep taking those steps too.
Man, that's awesome. We're here for that, coach, for sure, man. We know the things that he's good at. I mean, we see him. We've seen the tape. What are some of the things that going into this season you still think he needs to work on, or something that could be a possible weakness of his going into the season?
I mean, just being a rookie, right? Like there's going to be some differences in the defensive rotations. Offensively, I think he's so adaptable offensively. I think there's obviously gonna be change, but like when he was with us, we had 2 borderline NBA guys at Eastern that were kind of playing on the wing in front of him, and so he was like, "Okay, cool. I'm not going to force anything." Well, he was one of the most efficient players in the country, and he played off them. And then when he didn't have those guys, he was able to do more. So like, I don't think like the not having the ball in his hands will affect him whatsoever. But probably just some of the defensive rotations and just picking up the speed of the game.
Because we here in the city of Memphis, we've had a little, I don't want to say controversy, but we kind of had bad press about the city when it comes down to the Stephen A. Smith comments and all those type of things about the city. Cedric comes in, he says, well, Memphis is one of the places I wanted to go to, right? And he comes in, he's taking pictures, and he seems like he's happy here. And he feels like a guy that could be kind of like a beacon of hope for our city, right? What do you think makes him that type of young man where every time he opens his mouth, it sounds like something amazing is coming out. And every time he walks in the room, he seems like like I said, he's just a kid that you want to root for. And that's something about Memphis too. We're a city, we love a redemption story. We love seeing the underdogs. What do you think makes him just have such an amazing personality where he looks like he could be that type of guy?
I mean, he's just real. Like Cedric's not gonna tell you something that he doesn't really believe in. And the reality is he's grateful to be able to do what he loves. He doesn't need all the bells and whistles, or he's been in I think Willamette's in Salem, Oregon. He's been in Cheney, Washington. He's been in Pullman, Washington. Grew up in Fresno.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, like he really values the people he's around. He values being able to hoop and work on his game and expand his game. And like that's what it's all about. And so he's going to be able to come in and appreciate everything he's given. And I'm sure he's really excited to go to Memphis and see some of the culture out there. And
I know he say you're a big fan of wings, so we got them everywhere.
We got them here.
Hey,
trust
me. He can put them down, but he can cook them too.
Yeah, I saw him say he's a cook. Yeah, he can bake and stuff like that.
He would cook wings for our whole team. We had the team over one time at his house. He had a nicer place than I did at Eastern Washington, so we had the whole team come to his house, and he was cooking wings. He had the oil vats going. He knows what he's doing out there.
Well, Coach, we know we got a guy who's going to be cooking up things on the court. We got a gourmet chef off the court as well, from the way that you tell him, the way that he tells it as well. Now, something about Memphis, Coach, that I don't know this is distinct just to Memphis, but I know this is how we get down. We have a term of endearment here in the city called checking, where we just it's kind of, you might call it ribbon where you're from, where we just kind of we insult you, but it's in love, right? Give us some ammunition about him. You already gave us one saying he came in a bald head. That's one.
The bald head still stuck with him.
Is that good?
I'll still call him Michael Jordan every once in a while.
So is there anything else, anything interesting about him, any kind of special traits about him to stand out, to give us more ammunition just in case we want to show some love to our latest Memphian, Cedric Coward?
Man, he's a character. I just think he's going to be himself. I'm trying to think of something that
he ain't going to put him out there like that, man. That's his guy, man. He's not going to put his guy out there like that.
Yeah.
It's all good.
What was his nickname? What was his nickname on the team? Did he have a team? What'd y'all call him? It's been all over the airwaves today. Everybody trying to figure out nicknames. What's his nickname? What would y'all call him?
Just said. It was we're pretty boring out here. We didn't go too extravagant.
We got him. There's been the mayor has been put out there. Yep. The mayor. People talking about politics with him, like he could be a potential politician here in Memphis.
Hey, that line he gave at the draft when he talked about believing in yourself and all that, he sounded like a politician.
Yeah. Sign me up for sure. But Coach, we appreciate you coming on, man. We know we borrowing time from you today, man. We're Cedric Coward fans over here. Hope we can see you soon in Memphis, man. Hope you can take a trip down. And if
I'm excited to come down there.
And if you got any more 3-and-D wings on your roster, man, let us know now. You know, we can just go skip this whole draft process. Just go ahead and we can get them down here, man.
I got one question.
Good to you guys.
I got one more question for you, Coach, and it's about college basketball recruiting or rules, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They're instituting some reviews and stuff like that this year. Some coaches' reviews. How are you feeling about that? What do you think? Brand new thing.
I told our staff came in and. We have a couple coaches that are really detail oriented on all that stuff. And it was right around when we were still finishing up our roster. And I said, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff until we got our roster all the way done. So
there you go.
I haven't explored it too much. I'm excited. I think they're speeding up the game down the stretch. And I think that'll be good for the overall quality, though.
Awesome. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on, man. Get back to the rest of your day. Go make the next Memphis Grizzlies 3-and-D wing for us, man. We appreciate you. Keep popping them out for us, Coach.
We'll see you.
All right, man, for sure.